Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. If you ride with the channel, subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a channel member. It's a whopping $1 a month for all of the member benefits. We also have a $5 tier where there's even more member benefits. People have asked me, how can I give you more money? Which is always appreciated. You can donate to the Cash App if you feel so inclined to. Now let's watch these clips.
What in the cannibalism did I just watch? KFC released this commercial, and it's probably the weirdest, maybe the most disturbing commercial I have ever seen. This commercial starts with this dude walking around the woods, and he makes eye contact with this chicken, and this is where things start to get really weird. This girl starts coming in and takes him to this cult-like ritual that's going on where they gather around, come down from the trees, and they raise him up in the air. After this, everyone just runs away, and then this massive egg comes, and it looks like they're worshiping this golden egg. You know.
If you know, you know. Well, Mork from Ork on the show Mork and Mindy, he came to Earth, he was an alien, in an egg. Is that what he means by if you know, you know? And look at this strange symbol on Mork's. This show was in the early 80s, I believe. Maybe it's not that. Let's get back to the KFC commercial.
And then eventually the girl walks this man to the lake, which is actually gravy because the commercial is called All Hail Gravy. He grabs this man, puts him inside the gravy until he can no longer breathe. You can see the bubbles stop, so he's clearly unalived. She pulls him back up, and he's a fried piece of whatever the heck they call it, chicken.
We gotta go back for a second, because in the early 2000s, when the internet was really, like, YouTube was really whack, it was a bunch of white dudes kicking each other in the nads. There was a trend called planking, and she's holding him like a plank. I always wondered, who creates these trends? You and I, we try to create trends, but they never stick. Here's a conspiracy. All of the trends are created by the powers that be to somehow get us closer to demon worship. That's pretty scary. That's not what they're doing. It just was interesting. But let's keep going.
Because the commercial is called All Hail Gravy. He grabs this man, puts him inside the gravy until he can no longer breathe. You can see the bubbles stop, so he's clearly unalived. She pulls him back up, and he's a...
Wait, or is he paralyzed? That's how she's able to pick him up like a boombox. I saw David Blaine, no, the other one, Chris Angel. They do that to people, where they paralyze them and then they levitate them. Is there a connection? There's probably not one. I need some coffee. That's what it is. Let's just keep going.
Fried piece of whatever the heck they call it, chicken. I mean, call it truth in plain sight. Call this just a joke. Call it clickbait. This is weird.
Your passwords are no longer safe after an entirely new state of matter was created by Microsoft. Yeah, the company that struggles with supporting a stable operating system just stabilized quantum particles themselves. And it might just mean the end of all of your private data online. We're talking a new state of matter, you know, like solid, liquid, gas. There's also the lesser known plasma for things like the sun, the northern lights, and lightning, but these four are pretty much all we've known. Well, the Windows guys just created a new one called a topological state. The name's kind of a work in progress, but what's special about this one is that it only exists at the quantum level. Quantum meaning very, 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 very small, where classical physics no longer applies. And this topological state is a game changer for quantum computing. For those who don't know, quantum computing is sort of like the next big technological breakthrough, just like AI has been in recent years. And it may literally destroy our entire digital world. But what exactly makes quantum computing different from the laptop, phone, or desktop PC that you use today? First of all, quantum computers look like this, cost millions of dollars, and need to be cooled to near absolute zero, which is negative 273 degrees Celsius to operate. But what's really impressive is how they compute data. So if you strip down today's computers to their most bare bones computational processes, we'll see that everything is built on bits, basic binary switches that can have one of two values, 1 or 0. These values are assigned through electrical signals that pass through a solid medium like a silicon transistor that represents the switch. Since there are only two options, we call them binary, on or off, voltage or no voltage, based on the electrons that pass through them, which then form longer strings of of ones and zeros that become bytes, 8 bits, kilobytes, 1,000 bytes, megabytes, 1,000 kilobytes, and so on. These ones and zeros are binary code and represent data or computational procedures that virtually all technology is based on. This collection of ones and zeros could be a photo of your mom, and then this one could be me sending her a text. Now, quantum computers, instead of bits, use a new technology called qubits, quantum bits, that are non-binary, which doesn't mean they'll be using pronouns, but rather these qubits can now be 1 and 0 at the same time, called superposition, and are also fairly unstable. With traditional computing, running complex simulations with hundreds of variables can take a really long time, because each bit needs to be assigned a specific value, 1 or 0, and then that bit needs to be freed up before it can be used again for another operation. Quantum computing uses the unique properties of the atomic level by letting qubits be a 1 and 0 at the same time, meaning a qubit doesn't really need to be freed up before it can be used for something else. They can essentially be used for multiple operations all at once instead of waiting for their turn to be a 1 or 0 like in classical computing. In our classical universe, an object can't really be in two different states at the same time, so it's theorized that these qubits are actually communicating with parallel universes, where it exists as a 0 in one universe and a 1 in another, and it instantly pulls the information it needs from that qubit into our universe. In a sense, quantum computing creates time by borrowing the processing time of qubits in other universes and using their information in our own. By this theory, which is a real theory proposed by quantum computer scientists, these qubits are communicating directly with the multiverse. Yeah, I know, it's a mind freak. Even the people working on this technology themselves admit they don't really know how it works, but it does. Also, fun fact, I actually used to work at a quantum computing company, shout out D-Wave. So quantum computers are exponentially faster than conventional ones, as they're making use of time that doesn't even exist in our reality. And I don't think you realize how much faster.
Man, I dropped out in the 8th grade to not have to deal with this. This is 4 minutes long. I gotta go to the next clip, man.
I'm more mad at myself. I'm more mad at myself that I allowed this shit to happen because it's affecting my daughter. And it's not something I can take back. It's not something that I can just like go back in time and change it up. It's like the consequences of my fucking actions. It's me ignoring everything that God was trying to show me day in and day out, because I knew the type of person he already was. I knew that he didn't have it in him. I knew that
he didn't have it in him to deal with a flat-chested woman. So you went and got breast augmentation for him, hoping that it would keep him around, and then you ruined your daughter's self-esteem, because how can you articulate being a strong woman when you bent to the will of a man? You misshaped your body because you thought it would keep the man around. Your lips are pretty plump. You got lip injections too. Why would you do that when God said he's already made you perfect? You didn't think that you were perfect. Your eyelashes were already a nice size. You decided, I'm going to put some spider legs on my eyelids. Instead, your fingernail length was fine. You decided, no, I want the Wicked Witch of the West fingernails instead. And now you're upset that the man, you had a baby. You thought this was going to keep the man. You thought the baby was going to keep the man, and he left anyway. That's because you didn't choose the right guy in the first place, is what we trying to tell you. Wait, what were you even talking about? If this is not AI, could this potentially be where Gog and Magog are at? Could they be behind there? Could they themselves be inside of a portal? I don't know. The real creepy part is stuff that people thousands of years ago prophesized that I am now seeing today. That's the creepy part to me. None of that stuff from the Bible should coincide with anything today. Shout out to one of these guys in my comments. You know who you are. I couldn't find the comment, but he said, yo, I like how you keep talking about 7 women and this and this and that. That's kind of like your shtick. That's not it's in the Bible. I didn't write the Bible. Like, why would they say that? And we're seeing the beginning stages of that, the beginning phases of that, where the women are complaining, saying they don't want a man, they don't need a man, but then at the same time being like, I wish I had a man. At the same time, they're burning all of the property. Now you got to find another home. You're not able to get insurance. Everything this single independent woman had is gone. And They're taking away the jobs. The economy is going down the tubes. So how can you rebuild what it already took you 10, 15, 20 years to build in the first place? Now you're older than you were when you first started. One of the only resources is going to be either just hang it up, go to a FEMA camp or something like that, or try to figure it out, join a household. If they will have you in that household. Whether or not they take you on in that household is really going to depend on the woman. Because I know us men, us good men, I'm not going to jeopardize the stability me and my wife have helped to create in this household for you. I don't care what size fun bags you have. You're not worth it. So you're going to have to be friends. You know, you're going to have to cozy up to my wife. You're going to have to like kind of sell yourself like you sold yourself to your employer that made them hire you. You have to sell yourself to my wife and kind of explain to her why she needs you here, you know? Or do you not know? Let's just keep going.
When you look on the seal of this, right, that's a UFO right there.
It looks like a hat. The Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat hat. It maybe it is a UFO. Or maybe Liu Kang's hat looks like a UFO. Okay, man.
Above the church, okay, on this plaque right here. All right, if you can see it, these right here, these are going to be humans with their heads all connected, getting brought up to the ship. And this is the ascension, right? He was brought up onto a ship. All has to do with time and space and your ascension up into the air. Where do you think Jesus went when he went into the sky? All right, there had to have been a chariot or some sort in the air.
Wait, so Christians believe that Jesus went up into the sky? Because Muslims believe that too. Like, Muslims don't even believe that Jesus died on the cross. They believe that Jesus was brought up. Now, like I told some of you guys, you already know. Shout out to you new people who don't know. So I'm just going to do a quick review. When I was dating a Muslim girl, and no, I did never hit it. She's the one that got away. But I was trying to. It wasn't for a lack of trying. It just didn't happen. But she really liked me. She was courting me. I didn't know that she wanted to like I guess marry me, because those girls, they can't. Muslim people can mess with Jews and Christian people. They can't mess with people who don't believe in God. So even though I was a different religion from her, she still liked me. And her dad was like kind of courting me and kind of trying to like, I think he was trying to turn me into him. I didn't look like he was trying to turn me into a Muslim then. I just was like trying to get into his daughter's. You know, I don't want to sound like, but I was in 8th grade. So come on, what was you doing in 8th grade? Bookworm. Anyway, it's just a bunch of stuff that he was telling me about their religion. And you don't know what you're gonna remember from when you was in 8th grade to when you're 40 or 50 years old. You don't know. And I remember her. That was like a great time in my life. And so I remember parts of that. He's the one who told me, her and her family and all the different people from their faith that I was hanging around, because they was just regular people. They rapped, they played basketball. They, other than them wearing their what you call the Muslim, the dress thing, and you know, the kufi and this thing, they was just regular folks. They said Jesus was brought up, he didn't even die. I remember when he told me that, I was like, Jesus didn't die on a cross. Word. Cool story, bro. I was a little jerk. Anyway, that's interesting that Christians, I didn't know we believed that. I didn't know that. I don't remember hearing that. Maybe I wasn't in Sunday school that day. But I know they believe that. And this guy talking and saying that, but he's relating it to a UFO. He's saying Jesus went up into a UFO. So Jesus was an alien? Some of this stuff, I'd be like, man, I'm trying to take y'all seriously, but it's like you gotta suspend belief in a lot of these situations. Well, some of them. Well, let's keep going.
These symbols on the back right here, okay? They're somatic frequencies. They interact with your DNA, and they raise the cellular energy.
That is believable, and based on research, I have seen cymactic patterns that look like this, and I suggest you guys do your own research. And shout out to the people who do their own research, and it's like, you're on the right path, brother. You almost there, brother. You on the right. Keep picking up the breadcrumbs, brother. You're almost. Would you just tell me? God, that's why I hate you. But at the same time, I like you, brothers, and you sisters who be coming and dropping knowledge on me. But at the same time, you gotta be covert. You might be on the right path, brother. I don't know. But keep searching. You'll figure it out. Just You cloak and dagger Negroes, man. I swear to God.
Of your cells, okay? This is how you ascend spiritually, through your cellular energy. And the cross, because it's the positive force, okay? It's called the proton motive force inside your cells.
I always thought, why does the cross kind of look like the plus symbol a little bit? The horizontal line is up a little higher, but it looks like the plus kind of. You know what they told me in church when I said that?
The devil is speaking through you. Get behind me, Satan.
So I did.
Nobody else on here is going to tell you how to ascend, all right? Through the electrical force in your cells. That's why it says the blood of Christ and mentions iron all the time, because iron's going to ground the electrical charge into your body. Copper, just like all these copper roofs on these buildings I keep showing you. Copper allows the transfer of energy between cellular functions, okay? This is how your cells communicate and operate at a cellular level. They're literally forces at cellular levels. All this brick right here is stacked like your skin cells. All your skin cells are stacked like brick and mortar. It's why I went studying stonemasonry 3 generations with my father.
I just figured out what they're trying to distract us from. So in the last 24 hours, you may have heard the story come out about there being some really weird craft in the water in Florida shooting out all these ridiculous lights. And the people have been seeing these ridiculous lights come up out the water in Florida. And now, of course, Florida's on fire, which is completely unrelated. Really quick before we get into the juicy stuff, don't want Tic Tac Express this. If you see this on your For You page, let me know in the comments. So let me ask you if you remember this. This video is only partially related. Y'all remember when the Dior bags were going on? And when this top secret phenomenon was going on all over the Northeast United States, people were seeing these things come from a mothership in the Gulf. Then all of a sudden, fog took over all the lands and natural disasters started happening every day. So needless to say, we all forgot about it. And we also see this thing happen once a week. And I talked about how it was weird to go inside the side for miles and not going down. Of course, we all know it's a spaceship. Then last night in my video, I was like, why are all these really big things happening out of nowhere? The mission to the files to Mr. West, then all of a sudden at the same time the pyramid story broke, at the same time the military personnel story broke about the craft being in the water, and completely unrelated, Florida's on fire now. And don't forget, this right here happened 2 years in a row in Florida. Pay attention to your sites because it is all unrelated. How easily distracted we are. Needless to say, we're all going to see some very weird things soon. All satire and entertainment.
Wait, we're gonna see some weird things soon? That's what was that you just was talking about? That's normal stuff. That's what it is. In this timeline, cause shout out to CERN, they showed us in the TV show Sliders, we finna send you into alternate dimensions. It's gonna be exclusive. Watch, you're gonna love it. This is just normal stuff over here. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not from this timeline. So I'm an alien in your timeline. And shout out to my other visitors of your new timeline. And shout out to you people who this is normal to you. They, she, we's, and thems. It's normal to you, bro. I'm not even mad. I'm just trying to acclimate myself to your timeline. Give me a little while.
And random.
So many of them. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me get out for you. My heart coming out my chest.
This is literally the sign to stop eating KFC chicken. If you
What, the KFC starter jacket? That's the KFC bomber? If I see somebody wearing a KFC windbreaker, stop eating chicken. Is this what you telling me? This is Conscious Juice little cousin or something like that. It's gotta be. He entertaining, but let's hear more.
You still indulging in KFC? You must like humans. So y'all, KFC just dropped the commercial. Like,
if I'm eating KFC, I must like humans. Who I'm supposed to date? Anunnaki, man? Come on.
6 days ago. And they literally telling you in your face what their chicken is. This was by far one of the weirdest, craziest, demonic looking shit I ever seen all in one. They be telling us right in our face, and people just look at the commercial and be like, oh, that was so unique. They're thinking outside of the box. No, they're thinking inside of your skin, fool. What does the shirt say? God, take a look at this commercial. Really pay attention. Okay, you got the chicken. You got a sweater floating down. Then watch the people like in a cult or something.
Actually, I know what this is. This is not an occult. What you have to do is to become a magician. You guys can Google this for yourself. magicians have to go in the woods at night, because you know they're not really magic. These are demons who are doing stuff, because demons are in a different realm or a different dimension. Again, the Muslims are the one who told me about the jinns and the unseen. And again, I'm like, I don't know, how old are you in 8th grade? That's how old I am listening to them. But I'm looking at his daughter's rack because she was like the prettiest girl I'd seen at the time. Anyway, I just want to set it up, man. And this is the stuff that they was telling me. The magician has the demon doing the magic, and since we can't see them, like, you ever see something levitate in your house? Yeah, that's a demon, just like picking up your phone. According to what they told me, it gets a kick out of it. Like, he like, watch how I do this, and then you get scared. Oh, and he like, you was scared. You know, I don't know why they're like that. That's just what they're on. And if you want to do magic because it's going to get you women and power, and that's really all we guys want. Everything we do as heterosexual men is for women. We get money to get women. We get a nice house to get women. Power gets you women. It is what it is. So I think these things coming down are actual demons. They can't tell us that it's demons. They got to make it look like people. They're just reenacting what demons would do. Well, hold on. Tell me the rest. Dreadlock dude.
A big giant egg.
Right there. He's now possessed by the demon. He's possessed by the demon now. I think that's why he's being held. Because all of those are demons except for him. He's now even dressed like a demon. He wasn't wearing those clothes when he first got there.
They take the person to the water. Watch what happened, y'all.
He has died. And actually, it doesn't even say that he died, because the bubbles didn't. Maybe he was almost dead. Or was he being baptized? Was he reborn? And now when they lift him up out of the water or the gravy, he's a piece of chicken because now we can eat him alive. He's not. Or are they saying that we're making KFC out of humans? Or is this just a distraction from what they're really doing, which is the land grab? Let's take all the real estate, because money is imaginary, but a state, land, that's real. That's probably not it, right? That's too much. I'm too much reading into stuff, YouTube. That's not what this means. What I meant to say, YouTube, you didn't let me finish. I was saying that's not what this is. And people are stupid to think that everybody wants to be an expert. You're not an expert. I'm not an expert. This is for entertainment purposes only. Are you entertained? Of course you are. Now shut up. Okay, YouTube?
Now somebody explain to me, why on earth would they make a commercial showing them dipping a human into some water, turning them into chicken, KFC chicken?
It was Valentine's Day when police say they received a 911 call from this address, a woman saying her daughter was having trouble breathing. When first responders got there, they found 19-year-old Delilah Villegas in a bedroom. But investigators say the girl had already been dead, anywhere from 6 to 24 hours earlier. According to police, there was an outline of her body on the concrete floor, indicating she had been there for a long period of time.
It honestly hits home knowing that my brother was in class with her.
Anthony Johnson lives right next door. He says his brother went to high school with Villegas, who family members say was autistic and nonverbal. Police say she was severely malnourished, was covered in sores. Some of her bones were even exposed.
I'm a new parent myself. I have a 1-year-old daughter. She doesn't have any special needs, but there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do.
That's the thing. You say that now. But what if your daughter did have special needs? Huh? You think you got a haircut like a monk for no reason? Huh? I don't know that you wouldn't abuse your daughter with special needs. Unless you are a neurodiverse person. That's just what I think. I think a lot of people of color, especially black people, I think we just are neurodiverse. I mean, we would have to be. That's why we so quick to invite you to the cookout. Because whatever way you think or live or operate, it don't really bother us. That's cool, bro. You know what I mean? But people who are neurotypical people, you're not neurodiverse, they're very normies. It's got to be so they can't deal with a person with autism. Autism is a superpower, but for this monastery haircut having dude, he don't look at autism like a superpower. I don't think he does. Everybody talks about what they would do until they actually do it. You think this girl's parents wasn't like, oh, we're gonna love our daughter? Then they found out that she had autism, or they didn't know what she had, and they just started treating her like, that's what these people did with the insane asylums in the 1800s. These big castle looking things, they just threw them in there. Whatever, you're not normal, just get out of our hair. I don't like that. That's creepy too. Leave it in the comments if you want to see me do more. I might just do it anyway, but if you like to see me do more videos on how people just attack Aspie people and neurodiverse people. People got the most problems with neurodiverse people. I wonder why that is. Interesting.
For that little girl.
Cops say the victim's mother, 41-year-old Crystal Canales,
Look, she looked like a person who got problems but feels some kind of way because you traumatized by your problems. And autism isn't a problem. I guess if you're not secure with yourself, you would look at autism like it's a problem. You would look at being deaf like it's a problem, or being blind, or anything. And those things are not problems unless you make them problems. And she looked like the kind of person who would make you or what you got going on her problem.
She didn't seek medical attention, claiming it would cause her daughter to become violent. On Friday, 1 week later, Canales was arrested and charged with causing serious bodily injury to a disabled person under her care, a second-degree felony. Meantime, those who call
only a second-degree felony? But drugs is a first-degree felony. I'm telling you, man, they want to break up the home. It's a conspiracy. You know, a conspiracy is a crime in the justice system, right? Conspiracy to sell drugs, conspiracy to commit murder. Just talking about it. Me and you. Yo, let's go and we going to jail because it conspired. So it's not a conspiracy. That's a term that they made up. Whoever they is, the aliens. You got to put alien on top of everything so YouTube won't demonetize you. Yeah, the aliens created the term conspiracy theory. Oh, I think it was them. Since I don't have evidence, because if I had evidence, they've been with a bomb. If I had evidence, they've been would have got rid of me. But I'm safe under the veil of, I don't know if they did it. I think they did, but I can't prove it. But I can prove people like this are weirdo. I don't like these kind of people. They make all of humans look like we're strange. And this is why the aliens want to come and just destroy all of us. Because they're like, all of y'all are represented by this one weird looking lady.
Horseshoe Drive home, like Rochelle Stewart, are trying to come to terms with what went down right next door.
I don't know very much about them, but I just see them. I didn't even know they had a daughter.
So
didn't even take the daughter outside because they was embarrassed of the kid. Wild.
Relatives tell us there are other family members that live inside that home. Today, when we knocked on the door, nobody answered. Tomorrow, police are expected to hold a press conference and give more information about this horrible case.
Caves are already scary enough, but then you add the fact of it being underwater, and that's something I don't even want to think about being inside of. This brings us to the disappearance of 30-year-old Ben McDaniel, who was last seen near the entrance of an underwater cave. So
we don't need to go no further. He drowned. That's it.
Tell a girl she is beautiful once and she won't believe you. But if you tell a girl she's fat, she will always remember it. That's because elephants never forget.
What you say? You was gonna give up. You wasn't finna give nothing up.
Violated. Told you wasn't finna stop eating a thing.
You was finna keep striving, keep pushing, keep working, and keep doing your shit. You are great. It's nothing but success in your future. Get up, get out, get motivated. Get your motherfucking shine on today.
You hear voices telling you not to go to the gym. Goodness gracious. They hear voices telling them, don't stop eating.
Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on.
Round one, fight.
You know what I found out today?
What?
Our marriage license expired.
Wait, we not married no more? Happy birthday.
Why are you happy?
Oh no.
Nate,
Why are you smiling? Why are you stuttering?
Nate, I was not smiling.
You're still smiling.
I'm just looking at you because you're beautiful.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you win.
I am 41 years old, single, without kids, living in a van.
Word?
Outside my mom's house.
Dumb chick. Lonely and dumb chick. You could have been married in your 20s, but you had to be a lonely and dumb chick.
Has been in my freezer for 37 years. And I was always told it was like a wedding cake top.
Adam Smith had been living in this apartment, taking care of his mother who passed away from cancer just days ago. He showed us a photograph of a wrap box that was in his freezer. He said his mother kept it inside their freezer for decades and told him to stay away from it. He opened it after she passed away.
There was a pink blanket, baby blanket. And when I reached down and touched it, and I could feel a foot.
Did he say he could feel a foot? Single mothers.
This is Nicola Priest, a TikToker that was convicted of murdering her own 3-year-old daughter.
What kind of bitch is that?
And I could see the baby's head with hair. Hair was still attached to it.
He's distraught thinking about the possibility that that child may have been his sister and what his mother may have done.
Oh yeah, his dad definitely left. Oh nah, we call these undesirables. Nah, your mom is... Nah.
Yo, what the f*** is that? What the f*** is that? What the f*** is that?
That's the address for the DoorDash. Go take the food. I'm driving. Take the food up there. I'll be here when you get back.
Bro, when you need some extra money, you start thinking about like selling your PlayStation, selling your phone, or you start thinking about getting a second job, or you think about DoorDash.
Notice, you never start thinking about a woman. We like that. There is hope for this generation.
Tonight, a DoorDash driver is charged, accused of trying to force his way into a customer's home and trying to repair. New tonight, our Robert Townsend talked with a local safety expert who's reminding people to always be vigilant.
Trevay Gaines is the DoorDash delivery driver, now charged with burglary, attempted sexual misconduct, and resisting arrest. According to a probable cause statement on Tuesday, a woman told police Gaines forced his way into her North St. Louis County home after she ordered food. Court papers further reveal once inside, Gaines allegedly removed the woman's towel and groped her. Police say when the victim ran to neighbors for help, Gaines made a FaceTime call to her while he performed a sexual act.
It's just disturbing. I know it's traumatizing.
Stunning allegations to shoppers and neighbors who have a variety of opinions about ordering food from delivery services.
It's showing people where you stay. It's dangerous to me.
I don't understand it. I'm from old school. I don't do that.
Police say they tracked down Gaines through communication with DoorDash. They say he maneuvered handcuffs from his back to his front and tried to take off in his car. Police eventually arrested Gaines. Meanwhile, a veteran safety expert is reminding customers when you order from any delivery service, be extra careful.
Let them drop the food off and let them go on their way. This way you have no contact with them, because most DoorDash people will just leave the food there on the front porch.
Meantime, in a statement, a DoorDash spokesperson says they are horrified by this appalling and disturbing incident. The company says this is something no one should ever have to endure, and it will support the survivor however way it can. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And tonight, the suspect, Trevay Gaines, remains in jail on a $250,000 cash-only bond.
This is beyond ridiculous at this point. This is beyond ridiculous at this point, Brown.
Can you get out of the bathroom?
Nope, I can't.
This don't look right.
What are you doing?
I was trying to use the bathroom.
You're taking a nap.
Why would you just open the door without
Because the door was halfway open.
That's so disrespectful.
And we're trying to raise you on the radio. Where's your radio? Where is your radio, Brown? Where is your radio? Get out, come on. Where's your radio?
Where are you going? Can you put that phone down?
You know what, dog? You got me. My radio in the car. I ain't even got it.
Can you get that phone out of my face?
No, bro, because I'm so tired of this. You think everything is just a joke. You think everything is funny.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, nobody is.
I'm too sleepy.
Okay, and what makes you think it's okay to take a nap in the bathroom?
Because everywhere I go, I didn't think that people would like invade my privacy. I never.
Dumb chick.
You're in the bathroom for almost 30 minutes.
Lonely and dumb chick. You could have been married in your 20s, but you had to be a lonely and dumb chick. I am stupider because I watched this. You are stupider. Don't try to act like you're smarter than me. I am stupider. This got 4 million views. You are stupider. America made a fool out of you too. We are gonna knock this off right now. Today.
California is experiencing the weirdest problem. They now have so many people driving EVs that guess what's happened? They don't know where to get the gas tax money anymore. Now they're going to start taxing EV drivers.
What? With more than 30 million registered passenger vehicles in California, the state says it shells out more than $8 billion a year to maintain the roads those cars drive on. But because so many Californians now own electric vehicles, the gas tax money is starting to dry up, which is why Caltrans wants to instead charge drivers per mile and is now enrolling people in a 6-month pilot program to test out the concept.
Pilot program, 6 months.
They got to get the money somewhere. I mean, once Kamala Harris gets rid of all the men, how they going to tax you ladies?
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population,
where are all the good men? Yep, that's the question of the day. Everybody apparently is still wondering, where are all the good men?
more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Editing Adonis here, I just had to revisit this. Now that Trump is in office, a lot of Kamala Harris supporters are saying, see, we told you what was going to happen, so you should have listened to us. We can't listen to you because everything would have been LBJTQ had we listened to Kamala Harris. Fighting would have been legal. It would have been a national pastime. And if you were even interested in a heterosexual relationship, you may have been jailed. We don't know what America would have looked like underneath Kamala Harris. But don't tell me I'm so far off. Either way you voted, you was going to get rammed in the shaft.
Did you know that when you close both eyes, it goes completely black? But if you only close one eye, you don't see anything at all? Did you just wink at me?
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh, shit.
That motherfucker back there is not real!
That's a man? These are men?
Don't let him see the kids. Sometimes men need to be taught a very hard lesson.
Oh no, that's a woman.
This might sound silly, but I think one of the hardest pills for myself to swallow as a trans woman is, and this is gonna sound so silly, but the fact that I will, you know, I can do my best as a trans woman. I can, you know, take my hormones. I can, you know, do my due diligence with getting the surgeries that make me feel the best about myself. But at the end of the day, I will never be 100% what I want to be. And everybody's transness is different. Some trans women are extremely satisfied with the fact that they are trans and they love their transness. My transness and I have a very complicated relationship.
Why you put me on a game show of who's the man and who's the woman? That was uncalled for. I never thought of how like sad inside some of these people be. That person kind of remind me of how does Lion look? He just walking up like, dang, I used to just be able to just chomp a little more so like you. Shoot, I might as well just go on back to the crib because ain't nothing like that happened. Look, his hair falling off. Golly. Emasculated the dude. Man, that's what we got to watch out for, fellas. But yay, Kamala Harris, she gonna get rid of all of that. Low key, that's a good way to let the girl know, hey man, you need me here. So for you LeBron fans who own the couch and that's it, you gotta like dress up like the nun and make her think, yo, you need me here for ghosts. You don't know this, not know, you mess with tarot cards, you know, in the Ouija. Try it, LeBron fan. These dusty dudes is like, bro, I been did that. She knew with me though.
Technical difficulty. We have a technical difficulty.
Demons like to possess human bodies and feel sin. One of the ways they identify with each other is they put a butterfly tattoo, because to a butterfly evolves from a caterpillar. So when these demons possess these humans, all of a sudden they have an urge to get a butterfly tattoo. It's like the most common tattoo in America, a butterfly tattoo. Why do all of a sudden people become heroes and alcoholics and they want to get a butterfly tattoo? You know, it's not just like women. I see it on guys too. I'm like, okay, I know you've been so again, it's just one of those things in life when you know a lot about a lot, you can start observing.
I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff. I don't even know a lot about the stuff that I do know.
Yes, Lord.
That's why I react to the stuff y'all send me. Because what the f is happening? Jesus, I think CERN did push us into another dimension. It's crazy land over here.
Come with me to set up a Spanish word wall with me. I started off with the numbers and then I went on to high frequency words. I absolutely love word walls. I think they're great.
This is a teacher?
And they're also amazing sentence starters. I do use these word walls quite frequently in my...
Wait, why is you dressed like that? I mean, come on, listen, man.
I know this is inappropriate.
We're way past inappropriate.
Fellas, we got to get past this. Yo, when I was 12, hey, Junior, you... No, man, these women are insane.
Really evil. Like so evil that you would say it was evil. Like it's the fruits of the devil. Evil.
Butterfly tattoo, tarot card, Ouija board. Dressing like this is not just an epidemic. It's like this now. Where these 20-year-old women want your 12, 13-year-old son. She want him.
That's gross.
It sure is, Billy.
I mean, hell, they got the same emotional. I'm sorry, women. That's foul to suggest that you emotionally connect with the 12-year-old. Good men. Is that what makes us good? Maturity.
So I am so excited to show you guys how it came out. Let me know what you think. I did purchase this amazing resource from Teachers Pay Teachers.
I tell you what, though, that teacher sure is teachering.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
Well, a Cy-Fair ISD teacher is facing charges after allegedly having a sexual relationship with one of her students. The 15-year-old victim says he has been in a relationship with Sarah Suggs since December, shortly after transferring into her English class at Langham Creek High. When the teen's parents found out what was allegedly happening, Suggs was arrested. She's now being held on a $40,000 bond and is expected back in court next week. The district released a statement saying that Suggs had been with the district since 2005, but resigned when the allegations came up in January. The statement also adds, these actions are intolerable and not representative of the staff at Langham Creek High School or CFISD employee standards of conduct.
They are taking
our DNAs, mixing it with their own and trying to produce some kind of hybrid mix.
These are some kind of beings from other worlds.
Wait a minute, man. What is this? Oh, I'm sorry, trans people. I don't mean what are you. I'm saying, what is this? Why? What are we doing? We went from this to hold on. Okay, this is you trolling me. I'm gonna explain this now because I don't want no problems. So I got my members. They be sending me stuff, and you guys be sending me links on X. Don't act like that. This is not mine, but at the same time, I'm not disavowing it. I'm saying I didn't watch this. Normally, I just make my own content. I get the content, put it all together, stash it so I forget about it, and then rewatch it, and so the reaction will be as genuine as possible. All right? So let me just go back and try to pick the pieces of my brain up that fell out of when I saw this stuff. One of the first things I want to address, and this other stuff, why is this teacher dressed like this for the kids? He's a kid. I have an 18-year-old. This is how his teachers looked when he was in 7th, 8th, 9th. Very just... What? Why are you? I mean, so Kamala Harris wants more of this. Now, your son, our sons, have to deal with this, the sexualization of school. Then you go from that to this teacher being what, groomers season 1? Because there's some content creators out there that like my stuff and that they want to collab, and that's dope. Are you pitching this to me? The show's called Groomers. Then you go from that to hitting me with when husband doesn't know I'm a translation? Dude, man. Dude, in your journey to transistorhood, whatever, man. I'm just saying we going through some things at the Honest Adonis show. We're working with different editors. It's a lot of supernatural stuff behind these people who like my channel, be like tarot card readers. Shout out to y'all. I like the tarot people in the comments, and they're just normal people. She's just a normal person like me. She just loves the devil, and the devil told her to dress like that. But anyway, I was just a little shocked. And now you're blending that and saying that it's just, I'm not dissing your editing skills. It was just a lot to take in. I didn't know. You know what I mean? You just said, hey, check this link out, and let's continue though.
They are taking our DNAs, mixing it with their own and trying to produce some kind of hybrid mix.
These are some kind of beings from other worlds, from other planetary systems.
So maybe an advanced civilization is visiting us today. We must prepare ourselves for the most earth-shattering news in history. We truly are not alone.
Thank you to my channel members. We said thank you to my channel members. No Diddy when I say member. Thank you to my channel members. Fuck you if you're not a member. Nah, I'm just kidding. But seriously, join. Thank you